All right, so buying a car can be one of the most stressful purchasing experiences ever. It's probably like number 2 after buying a house, because it's just so much involved, so many things that you have to consider and go over, and it's just a stressful situation, you know. So I saved up some money, you know, got my credit and everything together, and I finally got myself to a point where, you know, I felt like I was ready to buy a car. So this was going to be my first, you know, my first car buying experience, because with my first car, my mom bought my car. So I went online, I did my little research, you know, looked up different car types, different models, try to see what I can afford, and, you know, what I was going to be comfortable in. You know, I did like all this research, and it was great. So first of all, I know I really wanted a Nissan. But anyway, so I did some more research, and I decided to go, you know, to look at Carmax. And I found like a couple of cars with them that were like really nice car. And one thing that's good about Carmax is sometimes if you find a car that's at a Carmax location that's, you know, that's not like your home Carmax location, and they can actually ship the car from that location and bring it, you know, and bring it to you. And sometimes, like, I don't know how it is, you know, with all their transactions, but you know, there's no charge for it. So I'm like, okay, great. So I brought my choices down to I knew I wanted to get a Nissan Altima. So at that point, I was only looking at Altimas, and I set my price, and I knew, you know, what mileage I wanted, you know, for the car, because I knew I was going to buy used. So I knew I didn't want it to be more than 20,000 miles on it, because I planned on having this car for a really long time. So with that said, I found two cars that were like, you know, my top 2 options. But both of the cars were at different locations, but still, you know, within, you know, my area, still in the DC metro area. So one car, I liked it because it was a 2012, and I purchased the car in 2014. So I wanted to get the newest car for, you know, that was within my price range. So this car, it was perfect. It was kind of like a grayish color, but it wasn't just like plain gray. It looked like it had, you know, like a hint of like a bluish undertone in it or something, but the color was just like real cool. Like, it was just so nice looking, and it had less than 10,000 miles on it, and it was great. And then there was another Nissan Altima, and that one, it was red, and my previous car was red, and I was like, oh well, this will be like getting the exact upgrade of what I had before. That one, it also had 10,000 miles on it. And I'm like, okay, great. And both of them were about the same price. I think the 2012 was a little, you know, just a couple of $100 more expensive than the other one. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I talked to my best friend, who at the time was also buying a car, and I talked to my boyfriend about it, you know, going through the process. So I wanted to make sure that I went to the CarMax to visit them during a time where both of them were available to come with me. And prior to even going, I had already, so I was going to finance the car. So I decided to just go with the financing company that they worked with, and which was a bad choice. But regardless of that, so I decided to go with, you know, the financing company that they were working with, and then they checked my credit and did all that. I did all of that over the phone. So going in to the physical location, I already knew what my loan terms would be, and I was, you know, it was something that was within the range that I wanted to pay. So everything was great, everything was laid out. So I was so excited. So this CarMax location, it was in Rockville, and at the time I worked in DC. So I decided to go one day after work. So after work, we met up with my best friend, because she had already bought her car at the time. So she came, picked up me and my boyfriend. We drove to the Rockville CarMax location, and as soon as we like pulled into the parking lot, the car was already like out front. It was freshly washed. It was just so shiny and so beautiful, and I was like, oh my god, this is my car. I was so excited. So we walked in, we met up with the I guess the sales agent, salesperson that I had been in contact with, and you know, everything was great, and he was ready to, like, at first he was ready to just sit us down and sign off on the paperwork, and that was going to be it. But I was like, I need to test drive this car. You're not going to get me that easily. So me and my boyfriend were walking around the car, kind of looking at it. I sit down in it, you know, see how I feel and everything. And he noticed something. He's looking at, like, the sticker that they have in the car, and he's like, why does this say it has 54,000 miles on it? And I was like, no, it's supposed to have like 10,000 miles. Like, no, that must be a wrong sticker. So then I asked the guy, and I was like, you know, is something wrong with this sticker? And he was like, no, it has 54,000 miles. And I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. I wouldn't drive all the way over here to buy a 2012 car that already has that many mileage on it. Like, I wanted to feel like I was buying a brand new car, so I wanted the least possible miles on it. Like, no, what's going on here? But he didn't know that I like the so when you go on the Carmax website and you find a car that you like, you know, they have, you know, if you click on it, there's a page with like all the details on the car. So I printed that page out, and then I showed it to him, and I was like, well, this is what I saw on the website, and this is the car that we talked about in reference to, you know, when you were checking my credit and making sure that, you know, I could qualify for the loan that you guys would give me. Like, it was based off of these numbers right here on this car, on this printout. So I gave it to him, and then I talked to his manager, and both of them was like, oh, well, it's a computer error, blah, blah, blah. But during the times leading up to this date, you know, like, we talked about it, and he said it had 10,000 miles. Like, I know I wasn't going crazy. I would never buy, you know, a car for like $15,000 that already had 54,000 miles on it, and it was just a Nissan Altima. Now, maybe I could do that if it was like a luxury brand, but no, it's just a Nissan. No, I'm not going to spend that much on a Nissan. No, I wasn't going to do it. So I was in there. I was really pissed off, and he was just acting like I was just so stupid. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, the customer service was by far like the worst. They made me feel like shit. They made me feel like I came in there, didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like, okay, so I may not be able to change the tire or change my oil or nothing on the car, but I know basic selling processes. Like, I know that if you have something on your website, I'm going to hold you to whatever numbers are on the website, and I always make sure that if I'm making a purchase that big, I'm going to talk to somebody over the phone and verify all of this information. So nonetheless, so I'm up here at the Carmax. I'm pissed off. Like, you know, like, I came in ready to sign off on, you know, on everything. I came in with the intentions of driving out with my own car. So I called the other Carmax that I was previously in contact with that had the red Nissan Altima, and I called them, and I'm like, okay, do you guys still have it? Because I want to come and take a look at it. So, and then I was like, you know what? So when the sales rep got on the phone, I was like, okay, can you go to the car and take a picture of what the odometer reading and text it to me, so I can make sure that if I'm going to drive to this whole new location, I want to make sure that this car really has 10,000 miles on it. And when she sent me the picture, it actually had like 9,000 and some change, but it was really maybe like 20 miles away from being actually 10,000 miles. So I'm like, okay, so at least I know that as we're going to this next location, you know, at least I know that they're telling me the truth. Get there, and the lady, like, she's so sweet. Everybody else is like really friendly. Like, I told her what happened at the other Carmax, and she's just like blown that they would even lie to me like that. Like, we went for the test drive. She's really nice. Like, she's explaining all of this stuff. Like, everything was great. Like, we went through, you know, she was there to talk me through the buying process. She explained all the different forms and the finances and how it would work with as far as getting my tags, and you know, she talked to me about everything. She was really patient with me because I had a lot of questions, because I've never bought anything, you know, that costs this much money. I've never had a loan. I've never got a loan for anything before, aside from like school loans and stuff. So, like, I was so glad that day, you know, aside from all the drama at the other Carmax, like, I'm so glad that this lady, you know, was able to kind of just like pull everything together. And it's just so funny because when I picked the first Carmax, when I picked the Rockville location, like I didn't even tell the other lady that I was even I found a car at the other one. I was just going to kind of just not say nothing and just go on by my business and pick another location without even telling her. And then it's just like, so that part, it kind of made me feel bad. But it's just like her customer service was just so on point, and I forgot her name, but whatever. But that Carmax was way better than that one in Rockville where they try to be extra shady and they were rude. But it's just like, during that whole car buying process, like, it's just so stressful, because it's like, you don't want to buy a car and feel like you made a mistake. You don't want to spend this much money on something that you're going to use on a daily basis and feel like you made a horrible mistake, or you don't want to feel like you didn't do enough of research on the car that you're purchasing, and that you end up in like an extended loan for this one car, and it's like you hate every moment of driving it. So for my story time, I will catch you guys in another video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for much more. Deuces.